Gold Dog.
Yeah, and you're talking about Galamsey. GJA president was talking about it. Is this gold? Do we know the history of this gold? So my God, this is as heavy as the tag.
Yeah.
This is well deserved. This plaque is awarded to Godwin Asediba for winning the Health Reporter of the Year.
Right.
28th September 2024. My brother, this is your third in a row, back to back. 3 years ago, you won the
Environmental Science Journalist of the Year
at the GJA.
Right.
And then that's the 25th anniversary, I remember.
Yes.
Then
and then the next one was the Documentary TV Reporter of the Year.
Was that the one with the glue thing?
No, that was
which of the documentaries?
The Golden Enemy. It had to do with young girls who were impregnated by illegal minors in the eastern region, and some young boys who were also into the practice as well, just to get some money before they can be able to go to school.
This was 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago.
My brother, have you been back to see if the story has changed?
I haven't been back.
Based on what you've heard?
Well, I mean, definitely it should be worse, because I'm seeing pictures and I'm hearing stories from that side, and it's bad. It's bad.
And then last year, this is the one after
yes, this is for last year. This had to do with My Period Is Not a Shame. I think I was on the show to talk about that.
Yes,
that documentary.
I remember that documentary.
Yes.
And people were asking what your interest was in that story.
Exactly.
You went really deep on that.
I did.
Wow.
I did. So that had to do with young girls who were using rags
to skip school sometimes.
Exactly, for as sanitary pads. And
how did you come by that idea? And I want to ask some of the questions I asked before. How did you come by that idea?
So that idea wasn't planned. I went to Techima and Kokroko to work on a story about young boys who had developed a certain means of getting high, where they resort to sniffing glue.
Okay.
So whilst working on that story, I realized the community that I was in was very deprived, marginalized people, and I asked around if the ladies had access to sanitary pads, and the stories I started hearing was something really disheartening. So I felt it was something that I had to bring to light. So whilst I was digging deep into the story, I realized that it kept on, I was getting surprises. Others are using toilet rolls, others are using leaves, others are using rags. So I just felt this was something that I had to report on. So I got a particular lady who was in her menstruational period and wasn't in school. We traced all the way to her home. And finally, when we got there, here was the lady, 16-year-old, really sad, didn't know what she was about. And I started to talk to her. She was bold enough to demonstrate to us how she folds the rag into her underwear before she puts it on. She was comfortable. The parents were there as well. They said we could film. Mind you, the face of this lady was blurred. In case of future, stuff. So we had to put her identity, we had to hide it. But we're able to film the process and all of that. These rags weren't the ordinary clean rags that you might find at home. This is something that they've used repeatedly for over a year.
What?
So this rag is actually, it's not a clean rag, it's a rag that is tattered. And you could still see some blood stains on the rag that they use, because they have to use it, wash it with soap. And with women, they are very sensitive down there, and you don't have to use the ordinary soap to wash your reusable sanitary pads. So most of the girls in the community started getting infections. And in that community that they lived in, which is Kokroko in Techiman, they didn't have a health center or any facility at all. They would have to travel miles away to a neighboring community which had a CHIPS compound, just to have, access to good quality health care. And even before getting to that community, it's a whole journey of bumpy, bad roads, especially when it rains. Cars don't even come to the community because they get damaged somewhere in the middle of the road. So we were able to track down to go to this CHIPS compound. We spoke to the physician assistant there who explained that quite a number of these girls come there with vaginal infections and mentioned other infections as well. And it's something that I just felt that I had to bring to light. And after the story was told, a lot of people were touched, and they sent some sanitary pads there. Some last 2 months ago, Rotary Ghana also went there massively to organize a program, did an exercise, screening exercise of these girls, and also provided them with sanitary pads as well. We still have quite a number of boxes packed here at TV3 that we have to take you to the girls. So it was
It's interesting that wasn't even your main story.
That wasn't my main story. That wasn't my main story at all.
Talk of your journalistic instincts.
You understand? You understand? You need to have the nose for news is really important.
It's a rare trait for many journalists. Some of them will tell you that. Sometimes when it comes cry, you need to be driven.
That's
true. For instance, Charlie, you go there for a story, you're limited, you're constrained by time, by budget, a lot of things. Even the crew you go there with, they're like, Charlie, we are only here for 2 days.
Yes.
This one adding a third day and an extra duty.
You understand?
Wow.
You understand?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Godwin, we must confirm this. I mean, myself, faculty, the entire team, your drive, we are super proud of you. We're like your number one fans.
Thank you.
Anytime you're on the road or you delay in giving us anything, we know that it's worth the wait.
Cooking.
This way you move from Motriman. The last time, right now, you're proper, Hall of Famer, Motri Space. Hey, my guy. I know the recent one to be another scary one.
Yeah.
And we've heard stories and read some of your tweets on X as well about sleepless nights.
Yes.
About the challenges you face in getting even your cameraman. You have to shoot some of them yourself.
Right.
You're with this lifeless bodies at the morgue at our very own Kolebu, who's supposed to be giving the best of everything, right?
Yeah.
And Umpunye.
I had to take.
No, my brother, you are an award winner. Whatever you talk right now, confirm. Whatever I talk for you, it's okay.
I had to take up the charge to do the filming myself because it was a story that I felt was really important for me to tell. This was a story that I told 2 years ago, thinking that there would be an improvement there. After it broke, a lot of people reacted to it. It shook the stakeholders' tables and all of that. But it was even discussed in Parliament at a point, but nothing had happened. So I decided to go there myself. Initially, I'd already gone through a certain experience that I didn't want to go through again, which is seeing the bodies, maggot, house flies all over. I was traumatized for
I am traumatized for you
for almost a year plus. You know, it wasn't something that I had spoken about, but I kept on getting flashbacks at night when I'm sleeping. I feel like something is on me. It was just a lot. Yes. And I mean, thanks to my mom, she's been very prayerful. She's been assisting me, you know, they call it cleansing whatsoever. She's very prayerful and things are, I mean, it got better along the line. So 2 years after, I don't know what triggered me. And I was like, you need to go there again. And I went there and what I saw again, Joe, it was...
We're showing some of those on our Facebook page right now. Not this is the edited version.
Right.
We can show anything. I mean, all this, and you see this. Charlie Nipan I'm unable to watch even the edited one you showed. I'm unable to watch.
This will actually humble you if you are able to go to the morgue and you see how people are lying there. You know, when you die, I think your body absorbs air, so you bloat. And you see people with, sorry for my language, whitish stuff.
You're not sorry. We are not even sorry for
you know, maggots.
People are planning dinner.
Maggots all over their bodies and all of that. It's Utimus Nipa and Seshe Kra. We are just here to live the moment, and everyone will die at the end of the day. But when you die, where do you end? Because as humans, we believe that is your departure from the world to wherever you are going to. So at least your body or your remains should be treated with dignity. Let's now talk about these people who care for the dead, which is the morticians or the mortuary attendants. Working in such an environment all the time, I feel like as you are infringing upon the rights of the people who work there, because they are working there, battling house flies, seeing these maggots, choked gutters.
They're the ones threatening to go on strike.
They threatened to go on strike on the day the documentary premiered, and called off the strike 6 hours after declaring it. And I don't know, I was just quite disappointed at the Ghana Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, because I felt they could do better.
They have an association.
Yes, they do.
A lot of the things
They have an association.
You assume that we know. You only found out after your documentary.
They do have an association, and Richard Jordan is their general secretary. I mean, he's been quite loud when it comes to speaking for these mortuary men. And when I saw that they had called off the strike, I mean, people who had come to most of the major morgues for their dead bodies were stranded because no one was there to work on the bodies for them. And that should have taught them a very big lesson, that this is something that we need to pay attention to. Most of these morticians are being paid 300 Ghana cedis, 400 cedis a month, and they are still owed a lot of months. They are not being paid. The right PPEs to be provided for these mortuary workers, ordinary gloves, aprons, and goggles for them to wear, they don't have. At the end of the day, they are contracting infections from these dead bodies. Someone might have died of tuberculosis.
And they live in our communities. They They use the same utensils we use when we go buy food from.
Climb the same trotro. The money that they will give to the mate is the same money. Exactly. They hand, sometimes you sit in the car, you have to close the door. Wherever they hold, wherever they sit, wherever they step, is the same place, another person, and you don't know where all of this will end. So it's a looming public health crisis that is gradually being created in a small box, and at the end of the day, when it grows its wings, it will just fly out and everyone is going to be affected. One other extraordinary thing about that story is that the mortuary has channeled its drain straight to the Kole Lagoon, and the Kole Lagoon ends at the sea, where fishermen are also there, just at the bank of the sea.
It's okay.
No,
I just ordered fish.
From where? Is it around? Is it around?
Stop this, guys. Stop.
If it's around Jamestown, then Charlie. And they've been a survey. They've actually had an exercise conducted testing the water and how infectious it is. And the water is heavily polluted. Heavily polluted. It's not a joke. So imagine one of the fishermen that I spoke to indicated that usually when it gets to the evening, the water rises, the seawater rises, and all the fishes, swim back to the lagoon to eat. So when the fish is coming back, they would set their nets to catch the fish, and these are the fish that they sell to, the neighboring community people, to restaurants, to big people. Even some of the fishmongers say that they take it outside, Jamestown, to sell to people. So you might be eating fish and you don't know where you're eating it from. Come on, human waste water.
I saw that picture of the lifeless baby on the floor.
Yes. Why you want to cry?
What are the authorities saying about some of this?
I mean, I got the opportunity to engage the CEO of the hospital, and it looks as though the situation goes beyond the Kolebu Teaching Hospital itself. This is a mortuary that
prides itself as the best.
And it's been there for over 100 years without renovation. I mean, it's not surprising to know that it will be in such a state. But after the first story, I thought they could have done some works there. But I didn't really see any change. It shouldn't take a lot to retile the place, paint it and change the trolleys, the beds. I don't think it would take much money. You go to the cold room and then you find bodies that are, literally decaying. And it's just bad. One old man reached out from the UK and mentioned that the very first time he stepped in the Kolebu morgue, which is about some 35 years ago, he was humbled by the situation. He said he used to smoke, do a lot of bad things, but after getting out of the morgue when he took his grandmother there, it changed his life totally, and he had to go back to the UK to start his life all over. And he appreciated the documentary because it took him back. Exactly. And whilst the story was airing, he could spot each clip and know that, oh, this is here, this is there.
From 35 years ago?
Yes, nothing has changed. He said nothing, from the positioning of the human beings to the people being placed in the shelves. Nothing has changed. And he was just, we spoke on phone for over an hour, and he kept on repeating himself, and I just understood how he felt about the story and the place itself. This is a mortuary I think needs urgent attention, especially when it comes to the channeling of the water.
This is Kolebu.
Yeah, this is Kolebu.
I'm now thinking of the ones that are, I don't know how it works in the space, whether the privately owned ones are better managed.
Yeah, they are.
But there are a lot of them out there in quite remote areas, and you can imagine if folks are complaining about the state of the Kolebu, and I can imagine what's happening elsewhere.
Right. But I mean, we are looking at I'm looking at making this like a project. To highlight the challenges of other morgues as well. Maybe this one doesn't inform people well enough to get to know that it's bad. And we live in a country where we actually would wait for things to be extra bad, like extra bad, before we can take an action. Because I mean, showing this for the first time should have, I mean, look at this. Someone might say that, oh, these journalists are being extra about the story, but look at the floor. Those are remains of people.
These are
look at someone's feet. Look at someone. These are all bodies. Can you see that shelf there should have just a single body?
Viewer discretion but for those of you are watching on Facebook, even though it's been censored, but some people still cannot take this.
See, all these are babies. That thing that looks like rubbish and babies, they're all squeezed in there.
It's possible that someone might, if the family comes for a body right now, they're likely to take maybe the leg of another person. Of
course, and then give it, yes. And I saw something like a skeleton up there. It was just a hand, but
my guy,
see,
I think we should, because right now you spot a motive. So I think we should just. Yeah, guy, this probably will win you another award next year. But I think the better award in all this for you will be when we get to see some change.
Absolutely.
In this situation.
Absolutely.
It's not enough to clap and then just say, oh, thank you, well done. But where do we go from here?
Yeah.
And I like that you mentioned that you want to take this as a course to see that we get some answers. And possibly soon. Huh?
I've never seen you like this before.
My brother, I know they dance always though. This thing may slow me.
Yeah.
How do you sleep at night again?
So I remember after telling the story and I stepped out of the morgue, I don't know, I'm human, so I just broke down a little. And this was an investigative piece, sort of. When I got to the morgue, it was quite challenging to get inside because after the first story, they actually had to strengthen their security when it comes to getting access into the place. So I disguised myself going there. And when I went, I saw people that I'd spoken to 2 years ago. And after the first story, most of them were queried that they might lose their jobs. So, they didn't want to engage me this time around. So I was like, that's okay, I would go there myself. So I went there, did my own thing, and I was able to finally get my access into the facility. But there was an alarm. I think they felt something was going wrong. So all of a sudden I saw about 8-9 of them surrounding me, speaking in Ga that I don't really understand, but I just could feel something was wrong. So I don't know, it was just God. I had to, maneuver my way out of the facility, run out, and I took a certain number of one of the morticians before going in there. So I called him the next day, asked, oh, how are you? Just today. He said if they had caught me in there, it would have been something else.
What?
Yes. They would have just put their hand in my mouth or just do something to me. Yes, because they feel I am coming to destroy their work or put them into trouble.
To help them, no?
Yes, he said they would have done something bad to me. So I don't know. I think it was just God. It was just because how I was able to walk my way out of the facility, because you walk and then you meet other colleagues, so someone could have easily grabbed me, but I was able to go out. They have 2 gates, the main entrance and then the one that gets into the mortuary. I was just fast enough to go out. I had to hide somewhere. When you come out of the morgue, there's some bush bee like that, so I hid there for some time before.
Be a documentary like I don't know what we morgue.
You don't know what people.
Guy, what are you going to do for them?
Yeah. So
I never use that site safe.
Yeah, I did that. I went out and I just broke down, and I called my mother to explain.
I'm sure your mom will go like some of these things. Let me know in advance.
Yes. So
typical African woman.
That was it. So I remember I couldn't sleep that night, so I had to call a relative to come over and sleep. And
what?
Yeah. I couldn't. And when my relative came over, we were sleeping at night, and according to him, I was shivering
in your sleep.
In my sleep, because I don't know. All of a sudden, I woke up, and when I woke up, I was just sitting on the bed, and I started tearing up. I don't know where the tears were coming from, but it was just a lot for me to comprehend. It was a lot for me to hold this time around, and I had to, seek some psychological help.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you sought professional help.
Yes. So I mean, I'm good.
You're much better now.
I'm good.
But you keep having these flashbacks.
Yes, I do. As we are talking, I just have a certain picture painted because I've seen it before. I filmed it, so I know, like. You can even be eating and then one will just flash.
You have one on your phone.
You want to see it?
No, faculty is just faculty.
Faculty, you want to see it?
Watch the
Oh yeah, I can show you to him.
When he was growing up, they used to call him blah hollow. He likes those things.
He like hollow stuff.
I cannot. I'm sorry, man. They say men who can stand on this way. Sister Kosi.
People were tweeting at me that I should post the
raw thing.
I'm like, what do you want to see? What do you want to see?
I am sorry. They say men who don't stand some of these things, we are women. Sam George. Sister Kosi, Sam George. Hi, Sam George. Sister Coach representing.
Yeah.
That's my brother. You're doing well.
Thank you.
Some of these things, I know. Even in your space, your friends tell you. Some of your colleagues will tell you that this one, dear,
I remember my colleague, after I came from the place and I started working on the story, my winner. So we would usually send write-ups to him so that they do the code cards for social media. As I send the thing, give him, be like, Charlie, if the thing be mock, make you no send, give me.
I beg you. You know what, any raw.
Yes.
And the editor who worked on the story.
Yes. So I worked
even for the visuals
with the twin editors, Divine Agbe-Wells and Dixon. Fantastic guys. They usually work on all my documentaries, all of them, and they were bold enough to work on this. There were times that we would squeeze our faces together, wouldn't want to look into the visual, but I mean, they managed to pull through. They did really well. They did a fantastic job. See
the way I forget to say it be different story taking that word. We can't talk about sorry for next year. What?
Yeah.
No, man, my man, you're bold, you're brave, and we hope that some of these things are worth it. I mean, again, we hope that Charlie action is taken and now.
Yeah.
Hi.
That is the aim.
I know it.
That is the aim.
I know it. You try what?
That as well.
No, you try what?
There was this scene where I think a certain body there was so much ice in the body, and they were trying to wash. Usually maybe on a Friday the family will come to take the body, so they were preparing it, and whilst they were tending the person, she was a bit plump, and the breast side was it had a lot of ice in there, so it was so strong, and the person had to clean beneath the breast, and if you should see how the macho man was raising it like some, like, I don't know, he's trying to break, I don't know, but because it was so hard, he just raised the thing, and I was filming and I was watching at the same time. Immediately he did that, I was like, Jesus.
Wait, when you spoke to them, how do they sleep?
Most of them, sorry, but most of them are drunkards because of that. You talk to them and then you smell the alcohol. They are always on something because
they can't use their any kind.
Some of them cannot use their ordinary eye. But there are women there who also do the same thing. when you watch the documentary there was a part where a woman was using something.
Yes,
it wasn't cotton. So it was actually a long needle that they used to, you see those white things that they put in the nose. It doesn't only end at the nostrils. They push in like
so
a cotton, like a big one into the head so that it sucks the water.
And the blood.
So what you saw was someone using a long, I don't know if it's a nail, whatever, they use it for the embalmment. They squeeze it into the head. So what you saw was hair, putting it inside. So they push it through the nose and then, get it into the head or something. And it wasn't. So someone was like, is the woman cutting? I want to see the raw visual. And I was like, this person is not serious, because that thing alone can traumatize you for the rest of your life.
I'm traumatized for the rest of the show, my brother. Please, thank you very much.
Yeah,
no, leave. Please, the documentary is on our TV3 Ghana channel on YouTube. You can go check it out. It's hashtag the assignment on TV3 and it's titled Troubled Morgue by Godwin Asediba, 26th of September 2024. You can check it out for yourself. This is a full documentary.
Yes, the full documentary.
22 minutes, 26 seconds. So check it out for yourself. And my brother, thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
all you do for us.
You know what happened actually? The day I got back from the morgue, I think I met you at the gate, and the first thing I did was to shake your hands.
You see? What is it?
I shook hands with you.
Don't fool plus me. Hey, God, you say what? I need evidence for HR. You say
me that you shake hands. Wait, don't say if you shake hands, you want to do that show that thing.
And it will make a beauty for you.
The hottest lane on your way back home. Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.